Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live. This is the Tuesday that the Lord has made, and we are rejoicing and we are glad in it. I want you to do me a quick favor, hit that like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know. Prophet Ramon, the squad, we are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. I am super excited today because we are going to be talking about keys to working on your business. Keys to working on your business. So if you would be so kind, I want you to invite others to join us today on the show. This is going to be an amazing lesson that I share with you. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of value from it, and I want others to be able to benefit and get results in their personal, professional, and financial life as well. While you are liking, sharing, inviting others, would you please also put in the comments what city you are watching us from? What city you're watching us from? Always like the members of our business community to share what city they're watching us from today so that we can give you a shout out when we circle back around, and so that others can see that we have people all over, especially in the United States of America. We have people from all over who not only watch our show and who get the content that we give them, but we have people from all over the United States of America that are actually a part of our business community on a real business level. We have students in our online program called the Millionaire Blueprint. We have students who are in our ministry training programs. We have clients who are in our coaching program, in our consulting program, in our licensing program. We have clients that are in all of our programs that we have here at Ramon Preston Enterprises. And so anytime you are able to share the city that you're watching us from, it just lets our community know that the word is getting out. People are starting to hear what we're saying, and people are starting to pay attention to what we're saying, and we're seeing the results in their lives. So welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. I am your host, Ramon Preston, every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. We show up here on the Ramon Preston Show to really share information with you that we know can help you properly start your business, structure your business, and scale your business, hopefully to six figures and beyond. Well, how do I know that this information can help you do those things? Because number one, the information has helped me do those things. And where I am in my life, where I am in my business, where I am financially, is a direct result of what I teach and what I provide to people like you. So whether you're an individual with a job, whether you are an individual with independent contracting assignment, whether you're an individual with an entire business or ministry organization, this information will help you start, structure, and or scale whatever it is that you're doing. And everything that I share with you is an extension of the divisions that make up our organizational enterprise. So we have a consulting division, we have a coaching division for business and finances. We have a training division for business and financing. And we have programs that are tailored to give you whatever it is that you need based on where you are in your own personal, professional, and financial cycle. So if you're just starting a business, if you're thinking about starting a business, this information can help you. If you've started a business, but you're not really getting the momentum you need in your business, guess what? This information can help you. Maybe you've started a business, you've structured it correctly, you have your systems and processes, but you're just glitching in certain areas that are affecting your scalability. You may not be able to systematize it quite yet. You may be trying to figure out where your blind spots are. Well, this information is designed to help you. So I want you to know that you're in good hands today while you're watching the show. If you are already a part of our business community, be sure to leave comments and feedback on things that you take away from our online courses, from our coaching sessions, from our workshops and our masterminds and our events. Please leave comments on these videos, even if you're just scrolling by, because you already know the way technology works on these social media platforms. When you are able to leave comments, when you click on videos and watch them for a few minutes, when you like them, when you share them, when you engage with those videos, the algorithms, the technological infrastructures that support these platforms and these sites and these channels, they move us up. They move us up because the activity proves that these are relevant videos. So I really appreciate all of you for supporting the Ramon Preston Show, for sharing our videos, liking them, for commenting, for leaving feedback, and for giving people an opportunity to see that I'm just not some fly-by-night social media internet guru. I'm actually a real business owner. I have a real business. I'm doing an amazing service to my community, and other people need to highlight that as well. I shouldn't be the only one that's praising my pond. There are other fish in the pond, right? And so I just want you to know I appreciate that, and I want you to succeed. I want you to experience what my wife and I experience on a day-to-day basis, because it hasn't always been what it is for us. So we know what entrepreneurial growth stages are. We know how they feel. We know how difficult it is. And remember, we started our entrepreneurial journey 18, almost 19 years ago, my wife and I, when there was no social media as it is. There were no smartphones as they are. There were no platforms and infrastructures like there are today. And so we scrapped, and we just had to figure it out. And we worked very hard, but we worked diligent. We were resilient. We were committed and consistent. We were faithful. We were focused. And now that we're fruitful, we are paying it forward by sharing a lot of valuable information with you. So today, I want to talk to you about the keys to working on your business. A lot of entrepreneurs are not necessarily working on their business, and because they're not working on their businesses, they're not able to grow their businesses. So this week I've been talking a lot about the demise of the small business owner, the demise of the solopreneur, meaning that if you are a solopreneur, you are a 1 to 2 person team, you are a small business owner, and you are categorically operating just in your own self-sufficiency in your business, your demise is almost inevitable in today's world, not just because of technology, not just because of automations, not just because of the digitization of society, but all of them collectively, along with your competition. People who are moving into entrepreneurship, people who are becoming small business owners, but they are becoming small business owners and moving into entrepreneurship with a different level of knowledge. They have a different level of skill set, and that knowledge and the skill set that they're bringing into their small businesses, into their entrepreneurial endeavors, it's literally solidifying the death and the demise of the average entrepreneur and small business owner. And I don't want that to be your story. I truly believe that entrepreneurship, small business ownership, is really the backbone to the United States of America, and most likely to the world and to most countries, because it is the entrepreneurial endeavors. It is the small business owners and the ingenuity behind them and the innovation that comes with them that really drives our economies to amazing, unprecedented levels. And so I want to get out of all the philosophizing, okay? I want to get out of all the intellectualizing. I want to get right to the nitty gritty of what I want you to understand today, because if you want to grow your business, if you want to be successful in business, if you want to put your business in a position that your business can not only finance your livelihood, but can also be a blessing to your family, to your community, and to the world, to your staff, to your clients and customers, to the market, to the world as a whole, then guess what? You've got to figure out the quickest way to work on your business. Now, there's some stats that I want to share with you as I break this down, because there are some keys. There are some keys to working on your business. There's some keys to working on your business, and each of these keys that I'm going to share with you are going to be necessary. They're going to be essential. So it's not like you have an option. There is no other way your business is going to grow. There's no other way your business is going to become successful and sustainable if, in fact, you don't develop the mindset and the skill set to adopt these keys and implement these keys in your business. So let's start with this before I give you some stats. We have one group of people who work for their business. Okay? We have one group of people who work in their business. And then we have another group of people who work on their business. And my goal is to bring you to a place that you can work on your business. But guess what? There's no way you're going to be able to work on your business if you don't understand the keys to working for your business and to working in your business. Because there's an element of each of the three that has to be integrated into your business so that you can see these keys working. So I want that to make sense to you. And if you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. These are the keys to working on your business. So I cannot get to a point to where I'm working on my business if I never get the knowledge on how to work in my business. And I can never work in my business if I never get the knowledge to working for my business. Okay, you got it? And so most entrepreneurs, as a matter of fact, studies show that 70% of entrepreneurs who start businesses are actually starting businesses based on how they work for their businesses. Think about that. 7 out of 10 businesses that are started in the United States of America are started by people who only have enough knowledge to work for their business. Think about that. 7 out of 10 businesses that start in the United States of America alone are starting with people who only have the knowledge to work for their business. So that means out of 10 businesses that start, only 3 businesses are starting with people who know how to either work in their business or work on their business. And these are the keys that are going to collectively help your business grow, help your business scale, help your business become successfully sustainable enough to pay you a paycheck, to pay for its own expenses, to pay for staffing and for expansion and for other future projects. It will never happen, and it almost never happens. And again, there may always be exceptions to the rule. So if you look hard enough and deep enough and wide enough, you'll always find a business that just did amazing things based on somebody working for it, or just based on somebody working in it, or just based on somebody working on it. But for the most part, businesses that grow, businesses that scale, businesses that succeed and become sustainably successful over long periods of time are businesses that have all 3 keys integrated and operating on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so I want to show you how these keys play a very important role in your growth and in your success. So we have one set of entrepreneurs who work for their businesses. This makes up about 70% of businesses that start in the United States of America. We have another set of entrepreneurs who work in their business. This represents about 20%. So 2 out of every 10 businesses are started by people who know how to work in the business. And I'll explain each of these keys. And then we have another set of entrepreneurs who know how to work on their business. And this represents about 10% of businesses. So out of 10 businesses that start in the United States of America, only 1 business is started by someone, by an entrepreneur who knows how to work on a business. All right. 2 of those 10 businesses are started by entrepreneurs who know how to work in them. And then the other 7, so most businesses are being started and being ran by somebody who works for. So let me kind of break this down a little further so that you can understand how this works, because I talked a little bit about it yesterday, but I didn't really go into great detail. And so we've got key number 1, we've got key number 2, and then we got key number 3. Okay, this represents working in, this represents working for your business. This represents working in your business, and this represents working on your business. Now, experts who have done a lot more studies and surveys than I have done, experts suggest I just use different words that make sense to me. So the words that I'm using may be my own words. You may not find the words that I'm using if you Google them, but they're words that resonate with me and they make more sense to me. So a lot of the concepts behind what I'm talking about, you can find on Google. You can find in books. It's just that I use different words or terminologies that make sense to me and to my community. But experts show that with these 3 keys or categories or components in a business, you have the people who are typically technical people. You have people who are transactional. And if you were watching the show yesterday, you probably saw this part that I talked about, but I didn't really go as deep as I'm trying to go today. And then you have people who are transformational. Okay, so if you're taking notes, I want you to write that down so I can explain to you how all this works for you as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner. So again, the first key is reflective of or describes the people, the entrepreneurs who start businesses, but they're knowledgeable on how to work for their business, right? These are technical minded people. These people are technical, they're techs. So let me explain to you what the technical person looks like. Whatever your business is centered around, the product that you're selling or the service that you're providing, technically you may be really good at the thing that you do. So for me, my technical strength is I'm a communicator, right? My technical strength is I'm a speaker. My technical strength is I'm an influencer. I'm a leader. So I've got the charisma and the personality. I'm always in front of the camera. I'm always on stage with the lights on. I'm always being the brand ambassador, the promoter, the marketer. I'm the frontline person. Well, that's a part of my technical skill set. That's a part of my technical ability. And so what most entrepreneurs do is they take what they are technically good at, what they have been educated on, what they have experience on, whether it's speaking, whether it's cleaning, whether it's driving, whether it's processing information, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, whether it's products, whether it's construction, painting, whatever the thing is that you do, that you know you can sell, you can make money from doing this. Well, that is the technical aspect of what most people use to build their businesses around. So this is why when the guy or the gal who knows how to wash cars or who wants to wash cars makes a decision and says, you know what, I'm gonna start a car wash business, or I'm gonna start a detailing business. What do? They go get an LLC and they start that LLC, and that LLC is ABC Detailing, or ABC Pressure Washing, or ABC Construction, or ABC Painting, or ABC Carpet Upholstery, or ABC Apparel. Do you see what I'm saying? So that means that business, that LLC, that corporation was built around or established, that business was started around a technical ability, a technical skill set. But the problem with that is this is only one of the three keys. And so what happens is this entrepreneur starts the business. They have the technical ability, they have the technical skill set, and they find themselves working what? For the business. So they leave one job where they had a boss. They start a business only to come to another job where they have a boss. The difference is they don't have a human boss, they have a corporation boss, right? Because your business at this point becomes a boss, because you're good at the thing that you do. A lot of artists, a lot of people who are creative, they find themselves running technical businesses, but they never ever get to work in them. They never really get to work on them. They always end up working for them because they are just slaves to this technical strength that they have, that they just happen to build a business around. Now, yesterday I asked the question, so if this is your first time this week watching the show, I want to bring this question back, and I want you to give me your answer. Based on these three keys or components, based on these three characteristics or traits, if you had to choose what type of entrepreneur you are, which one would you choose? I asked this question to those who were watching yesterday, and I want to ask it to you today if you're just watching this week for the first time. Are you a technical entrepreneur? Are you just really, really good at the thing that you do? Are you just like so creative about what you do? You just always work on your thing, and you know nobody really can do it the way you do it, so you always find yourself having to do it? Then you may be the technical one. All right? If you're transactional, you may be the manager, even though you can do the technical job, but you really don't necessarily want to do it. You just know you're good at doing it, but you really like to just manage and organize and make sure everything is put together, and you would prefer to have other people do the technical job. You just want to make sure that you're managing the transactions and the operations of the business. Or maybe you're transformational. You really would care less if you had to do either one of those, as long as you can think big, as long as you can move into the future and come up with new ideas and turn them into products and services. And maybe you don't mind implementing them, but you want these two types of people to execute them. So please let me know in the comments which personality type, which characteristic, which trait of an entrepreneur do you have? I would love to know that. And by the way, if you have any questions, drop the questions in the comments. Okay, so the first key, it describes the people, the entrepreneurs who work for the business. These are typically technical people. They just love to do the thing that they're skilled at doing. And as I said, a lot of the people who are like that are people who they don't mind getting other people to do some of the things that they do, but more than likely they like to do it. They would rather someone else work the transactional part, meaning that you would rather someone else work on the systems and schedules and the processes and all the automations and the technology. If they can do all that and you can just do what you do, because you do what you do well, you will be fine. And most likely you don't even care about, you know, scaling and automating and building out, you know, global technological platforms, because you just want to continue to do what you do well. So most businesses that you see that are small, that may not really grow in terms of staff, they may not grow in terms of branding, they may not really be exposed publicly in terms of marketing, they may not really make any big splashes. Most of them are being ran by people who are typically technical, all right? And so again, this is an essential key to the success of your business, but it is not the only key that's going to solidify the sustainable success of your business. So it's not like you can do without this type of personality or this type of characteristic in your business. It just means with this alone, your business is not going to grow. So I would love to know which one represents you best, and don't tell me three of them do. Don't tell me three of them do, okay? Which one best? If you had to choose one, which one would you have to force yourself to choose? All right, we got to get you down to specifics. We don't want to be general about everything. Every time somebody asks you a question, you always like, well, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a that. Just pick one. Become decisive. Become specific. You know, like start choosing sides. You got to become definitive in your mind. Choose sides. Which one are you? I'm this. Even though I got all three of these characteristics in my business, even though I have all three of these traits in my business, even though I can do all three of them, but I'm really not all three of them. I'm really this person. I'm the big thinker. I'm the transformational person. If I never had to deal with systems and processes, if I never had to deal with managing and day-to-day operations, if I never had to literally do the thing that got to get done that makes money, if all I could just do is be in la-la land every day and think about the future and come up with ideas and just implement them and other people will execute them, I'll be in heaven every day, even though it's unrealistic. So I'm choosing that. That's who I really am. So I want you to choose which one you really are. And if you have any questions, just drop the questions in the comments. I would love to know which one you are, and I would love to know exactly how this works within your business as well. If you have any questions, or you may have some feedback that reflects how this is working in your business already. And so the second key is going to describe the people, the entrepreneurs who start businesses, but they work in their businesses. Now, what differentiates the transactional people from the technical people is that the transactional people are typically managers. They're typically managers. They're very manager-minded. I'm not going to say they're control freaks, because some transformational and technical people can be control freaks. But the transactional person is really the person that just needs order. They need a little structure. They need things to be clear. They need to make sense of things. So even though they might be working for the business, doing the job, but the transactional person is really compromising a little bit of doing the job for making sure that the job exists. So they want to make sure that they're scheduling right. They want to make sure that every I is dotted, every T is crossed. They're more organizational type people. These are the people that typically supervise. They're the ones who typically manage. They're the ones who are looking at the schedules and making sure that every department is running right and smooth. A lot of high-level transactional people who are managerial and operational in nature, they want to have systems. They want to be able to look at numbers and metrics, and they want to be able to project, and they want to qualify everything, Okay, they want to make sure everything is qualified. Like my wife is more of a transactional person. So when I come to my wife as a transformational person and I say, honey, I want to do this, I think we should do that, and we need to buy this, and we need to build that, and we need to expand in this, and we need to try that. And once I get finished with my little spiel as a transformational entrepreneur, my wife, who is a transactional entrepreneur or leader, she's going to say, okay, so tell me why you want to do that, and how is that going to change what you're doing, and what is going to be the return, and how long is it going to take? So she's like getting into her analytics, and she's becoming logical and rational and analytical because she's a transactional person. She's going to be working in the business. She's going to focus on making sure everything is moving and maintaining and being managed in a very concise and systematic way. So if you're that kind of entrepreneur, then even though you're still to some extent working for your business, most likely you're working in your business. So every day you're just engulfed working in it. And most likely you don't really put a whole lot of time into the future, into building it out. You don't put a whole lot of time in making sure that even though I got to do what I got to do today while I work in it, I'm also building something that I want to see happen in the future, so that I'm not just in it, but I'm on it. And so this is the second essential key to your business. And then number 3, this is where all of them should collectively consummate together. Because remember, you don't want to just have a business that reflects one of these 3. Because if your business is small and struggling, if it's not really growing and moving forward, it's probably because your business does not reflect each of these 3 in a mature way. And so one business expert suggests that this first key could easily be the infant stage of your business. The second key could easily be the adolescent stage of your business. And then the third key could be the adult stage. And so the goal is to bring your business from infancy through adolescence into adulthood. So how do I get to a place to where I'm able to work on my business and really start building something that can be successfully sustainable or sustainably successful, whichever way you want it, tomato, tomato. Well, I've got to do it by first and foremost making sure while I'm still an infant business, because most businesses, when they start, they're starting on an infant level. Even if they're being started by transformational or transactional entrepreneurs, they're still infant level businesses, because technically the only person who works for the business is the person who owns the business. It may be 1 or 2 people if it's a couple. And so when you're at this stage, this is where you have to start going through the process of documenting all the details of your business. Like everything that you do, you got to start documenting it. You got to start creating a paper trail for all of the activities of your business. Now, one of the things that I like to do with my clients is I like to start them out at the top of the corporate mountain of their empire, of their organization. And then I like to build out what their main corporate infrastructure and systems should actually look like, so that when they start doing the day-to-day things, even if they're doing it from a technical perspective as an infant business, they're able to do it with the expectation that someone else will do it at another point. And if somebody else is going to do it at another point, you've got to have documented proof for what works. You have to have documented information and data and metrics on not only what works, but how it actually works. So for example, I come in here right now and I come into the studio and I have to cut the lights on and cut the board on and cut the camera on and make sure our streaming service is working and make sure we've got batteries, and my assistant is doing one thing, my wife might be doing another thing. So all of a sudden, on on a day-to-day basis, this is one particular area where there's a list of things that got to get done. Well, that list of things that got to get done needs to be qualified. It needs to be quantified so that we know what needs to get done, how it needs to get done, and the actual results or impact that those activities produce, so that when someone new walks into the room tomorrow or the next day or next week, guess what? It's easy for them to duplicate what has been documented, if that makes sense. And so that's a part of the process I like to build out from the top down, so that when you start with the first key, you're technical. 7 out of 10 businesses are operating like that. And the other 3 businesses that operate from transactional and transformational entrepreneurs, they're still technically infant businesses. So there was a time when my wife and I first started our business. Yes, I was a transformational thinker. My wife was a transactional thinker. But guess what? We were both operating technically. My wife had the technical skills of a real estate agent. She had a real estate license. I had the technical skills of the handyman, but I had this mentality as a transformer, and she had the mentality as a transactor, but we still had to have the ability as technicians. We had to do the thing. We worked for our business, and it was a baby business. And then as we begin to document what we did, as we begin to figure out what worked, what didn't work, what was producing results, what wasn't producing results, as we begin to generate more and more transactions and moved into our adolescence, it was easier for us to start identifying with people who could come help us, and people who could actually not just help us person to person, but people who could actually help us through the systems and the processes that we started creating and building for our company. So now we don't just have people getting new information from us every day, getting a new directive or new task from us every day. We have people who can come in, look at the systems we have, and transactionally duplicate what we have already documented. And guess what happens? This starts growing. This starts moving. And now we go from just working for the business to working in the business, but we're not just in the business by ourselves. We're in the business with systems, with processes, with new people. And then as we continue to grow, as we continue to build, as we continue to get better at our techniques, as we continue to get better with our transactions, guess what happens? We start transforming. And then at certain points, guess what happens? I, as the transformational entrepreneur, am able to pivot into working on what at some point I was working in and working for. Does that make sense? And so all of you as entrepreneurs and business owners have to have a little bit of all 3, and you may have to incorporate, integrate, and execute these 3 keys on your own. But if you do it in a very systematic way, you will get to a point that you are no longer working for your business or in your business. You'll get to a point that you're working on your business. And so I would love to get some feedback from you again, to know exactly where you are, and to get some feedback on how what you're doing is working for you. And let's say, for example, if you're the technical kind of person, you're just good at your skill and you love doing what you do, and you're really not the systems and management process type person. You're really not the person who's always thinking about franchising your business or going global. That's something you may think about, but it's not like your driving force. I would love to know, how things go with your business on that level, and what things you feel like you need to work on. What areas of your business that you feel like you're suffocated in? What areas of your business are you stressed in? What areas of your business that you just feel like are just grinding you if you're technical, if you're transactional, if you're like the systems and processes person and you need everything perfect. And a lot of times because you want everything to be perfect, it affects you actually doing the job or selling the product because you always want to wait until everything is perfect. Let me know where you are with that and how that works for you. And let me know what some of the issues are that you're having, things that you wish were out of the way. If you're the transformational entrepreneur, meaning that you just always think big, you got 1,000 ideas that come to your mind every week, you trying multiple things and nothing is working, I would love to get feedback from you. And if you would like for me and my team to take a look under the hood of your business, we're not going to judge you. This is what we do as a consulting company. We look under your hood. We'll take an assessment. We don't mind taking a few moments to see what exactly do you have going on, what exactly do you want to have going on, and what do you need to fill that gap. All you have to do is just reach out to me. I would love to have an opportunity to speak with you. And so all you would need to do is just text. There we go. I got it right here. All you would have to do is just text the word millionaire. Now, one of the reasons why I'm always challenging people who want to reach out to me to text the word millionaire is because that should be one of your goals. That should be one of your goals. One of your goals should be to have a 7-figure, $1 million business every year. That should be your goal. Because guess what? It's not going to be easy. However, if you learn how to take the technical keys of what you do working for your business and take the transactional keys of what you do of working in your business and the transactional keys and then the transformational keys of what you do working on your business and put them together collectively, you're going to start seeing a different level of momentum. And how do I know this? Well, I know this because I've gone through each of those stages. And I personally feel like, I still feel like I'm really not at the adult stage of my business. I think within the next 6 months or so, I'll be at an adult stage where I'm probably spending the overwhelming majority of my time working on my business within the next 6 months to a year. But even then, at least I know how each of those keys will take me through the stages of infancy, adolescence, and adulthood. And so it's okay if you're still at the infant stage. It's okay because, listen, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time, but it will never happen if you don't have the knowledge, if you don't really know how to make all three of those work in your business. And why aren't they working? Because you don't know how to work them. You haven't been educated and trained, and you don't have the skill set for the things that are needed to work them into your business. And so if you don't have that, you're never going to be able to see yourself doing it. You're going to always think about it and be like, man, it's just never going to happen. I can't make it happen. And then you're going to try and try and try. You're going to fail because you can only operate to the level of your knowledge. You can't go beyond your level of knowledge. So every time you try to push yourself and you're like, yeah, what he's saying is right, but then you go try to do it yourself. I talk to a lot of people all the time, and when they tell me, oh, I've been listening to you on YouTube and I've been following you for years and I'm just going to keep figuring it out myself and taking notes from you, but you never cross over. You know why? Because you just can't do it that way. Nobody can do it that way. Even me, as good as I think I am when it comes to self-education and learning and gathering information and doing it myself and trying things and figuring things out and experimenting, there was a certain point in my business that I had to make the decision. I can't do it. I got to pay people to help me. I've got to bring people in, not just staff, but I got to bring coaches and mentors and consultants, people who've already done this stuff. And the moment I just it was kind of like closed my eyes, held my breath and just pushed my money chips in the middle of the table. The moment I did it and I realized that just doing it alone, it did something to my mind. because now I was under obligation. As a matter of fact, the first time I joined a coaching program, I remember the first day that I did it, I literally had something that came on me and I was like, man, I got to get that money back. I felt like this overwhelming excitement and this strength. And I was like, man, I hadn't even started learning nothing. I hadn't even went to my first session. I hadn't been on my first call. I hadn't been to my first event. And I was already like, man, I got to go get it. I got to make it happen. And I realized, wow, I would have never gotten that feeling if I would have never connected with this mentor. But then once I started getting the information, once I started learning, I remember the first time I went to one of my first events and I'm sitting in that class and I'm thinking, oh my God, I have to be the dumbest entrepreneur on the planet for me to have waited this long. And all I needed to do is just put some money up and I could have got access to this information. Well, guess what? I realized I wasn't the dumbest. I was actually one of the smartest, because out of all the millions and millions of entrepreneurs on the planet, only a few of us ever get information and knowledge and training that we put to practice and see the results for. And so I want you to be one of those ones. So if you would like to speak with me and my team, we'll be more than happy to take a few minutes to see what you're doing and what exactly are the blind spots of your business and what type of infrastructure you have, what type of systems and processes do you have or do you need. You may need to restructure your organization or enterprise altogether. You may need to reset yourself. Maybe your products and services are good, but they're not packaged right. Maybe your messaging is wrong because you got too many things going on and you don't know where to put the energy. All of this is typically fleshed out when you are coached by coaches who understand business. And so I want to give you that opportunity. Just text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213, and I'll be more than happy to take a few moments to just talk to you about your business and see what exactly are you doing, what do you want to do, what results are you getting, what results you want to get, and what are the missing things in between. It's not as complicated as it may seem, but it may be complicated to the person who just don't know what they're doing. Maybe you're not the business consultant, so you don't need to play a role in your business that you're not. I always tell entrepreneurs that. Don't play a role in your business that you shouldn't play, including playing the role of the consultant. So there are a lot of things that I know a little bit about in my business, but I don't know everything about. And so I have lawyers, I have CPAs or tax strategists, I have coaches, I have business consultants who can help me in those areas. So they're basically a part of my team, because I don't want to play a role in my business that I know I can't play. So I want to be a billionaire. I want to go to a $10 million company a year. Like now. That's the journey that I'm on right now. And guess what? In order for me to get there, I'm not going to be the one that get me there, not by myself. And I ain't going to be able to study enough and research enough and Google enough and search enough on the internet to get there at least as quick as I want to. So guess what I have to do? I have to employ professionals who've already been there and who knows exactly what I need to do technically, transactionally, and transformationally to get me there. And it's no different from you. It's no different for you. It's no different with you. So please take the time, get this number, text millionaire to 404-478-7213. I appreciate all of you for joining the show today. I'm looking forward to speaking with you, to doing life and business with you. We have an amazing business community. We have students that are on our training programs. We have coaching and consulting clients that are in our mentorship program. We have people that we're training to be certified coaches and consultants. We have clients that are in our business incubator that we actually work with in our business incubator. This is a program where it gives you the opportunity to bring my team onto your team, and we work in your business together as a team. We have licensees who are literally licensed to take our digital products and programs and monetize them and resell them and reuse any of the content that we have. And so we're helping a lot of people, and I want you to be one of the entrepreneurs that we're helping, because I believe there could be no better time in history for you to become a millionaire, for you to have a successful business. But you got to get the knowledge technically, transactionally, and transformationally. So appreciate all of you. I'll be back here tomorrow, same place, same time, 12 o'clock noon, Eastern Standard, on the Ramon